Hello, everybody. Welcome. We're just waiting for the last few people to come in from the holding room to be able to join us for this webinar. Hello. Hi. Hello, welcome, and thank you. Yes, I can see you've come in now. Right. So this webinar is for how small business owners and entrepreneurs can rebuild their company to prepare for a successful sale without an unwanted liquidation. This is for you if you are a small business owner who currently has no plans for the succession of your company. And before you start the process to sell, you wish to rebuild the business in order to attain a better valuation and assure the smoothest possible transfer of ownership. You see, there exists right now a way to rebuild your company, your team, and you for a successful ownership transfer so that you can let go of the reins, sell, maximizing returns, and ensure the ongoing success of the business without disrupting employees and customers who may lose confidence in the new management, without paying expensive auditors and lawyers that will exhaust your time and your pocket, and without having to liquidate your company because you haven't found somebody to be able to take over. So here's how. It's with here we have it, the Rebuild to Win Transformative Roadmap. It is a 7-step process that I'll be delighted to show you in a moment during this webinar. Now, here's what I believe. Vision driven by an action plan will achieve business legacy. Here's why. Because pressured business owners are forced to consider important daily issues with short-term decisions every single day on a daily basis. And consequently, they end up failing to attach enough importance to preparing their company, their teams, before planning transferal of ownership. Which means that a business owner must envisage an effective succession plan as part of the overall long-term strategy. Here's something else to know and remember. Choosing the right successor and making sure the transferal happens at the right time is the best way to ensure the ongoing success of the business. Here's why. Because many entrepreneurs, they believe that because they are the boss, they should be making all the important decisions, which means that they rarely delegate to team members and they do not allow others to grow and replace them in the workplace. Not preparing in advance a succession plan, leaving it until it's too late, will mean effective transferal of ownership is not possible within a necessary time frame and may be transferred into reluctant or even worse, incapable hands. The business could be severely disrupted as arguments will take place over who should own or run the business. All that uncertainty and lack of leadership can have a disastrous effect on sales and morale within the business. Now, here's another important principle. Many entrepreneurs who actually prepare the succession plan in advance, they will maximize the valuation of the company. Here's why. Because by strategically preparing the organization, the teams, and boosting the business with modern tools, it's very likely that you will attain a higher valuation. However, many entrepreneurs often ignore the complex process of due diligence and company valuation, which may reduce the agreed sales price. Entrepreneurs are seduced by a high valuation quote and may be convinced to work with a financial expert who seek at all costs a mandate to sell the company. These financial experts, once they have the mandate, often will pressure the owner into making unrealistic business plans which are not in line with the industry or the market. This monopolizes the entrepreneur's time and keeps him away from his core business and will actually exhaust him. Which means that you need to review the entire business from a fresh perspective and prepare to adjust the business model and the teams to optimize its value before seeking to sell. So here's the thing. You can now prepare your company for an ownership transferal without spending many hours away from a core business, networking with the wrong people, without taking inappropriate advice from expensive lawyers and greedy bankers, and without spending endless hours explaining your business to auditors who will make unrealistic business plans, or without having to close your company. You see, the key to a great succession plan is to rebuild your company as to be as lean and efficient and profitable as possible to maximize its appeal, so that you can plan your succession successfully your way. That is certainly a tongue twister, but I seem to get it. And most importantly, you will actually avoid working on your own to find a person to replace yourself, wasting precious time with expensive lawyers and bankers to find someone who will be totally unsuitable to run your business, and without having to close your business for lack of planning. Now, at the end of this presentation, I have 2 free resources for you, so do listen carefully until the end. I will give you a copy of these slides, and I'll give you a copy of this implementation plan so that you too can rebuild your company for a successful transferal of ownership. Now, there is one simple but very effective strategy to prepare your company to be sold so that you too will know exactly what course of action to take, when and how. Even if you don't have a family member to succeed you, even if you think that your company can't exist without you, and even if you don't know anything about digital technologies. In a few moments, I will explain why now is the best time to start thinking and planning your future succession. But before we get into this, you're probably asking, who is Helen Gailey anyway? I have been in business for over 30 years. My first 10 years were spent in the corporate world, where I ended up as a training manager for world-renowned brands. I traveled the globe training teams about sales and high performance. I then joined the entrepreneurial world, where I was able to align my family and my work. And during these past 20 years, I have created, bought, and sold numerous companies, managed rapid growth, going from 20 to 150 employees in a couple of years in a variety of different industries. I've also had to downsize, going through the process of laying off fabulous people, but due to financial difficulties. I've even managed and liquidated a company experiencing all the genuine problems that one has as an owner when you lose your business and also your livelihood. Today I coach and train entrepreneurs, young and some less young, in their business startups, but also in rebuilding failing businesses and helping prepare to sell a company for retirement. How many difficult decisions have you made as an entrepreneur? I understand that being an entrepreneur is not easy. It's a lonely position, but it doesn't always have to be like that. So let me tell you a story. Several years ago, I bought a 21-year-old company in a different country. The founding owner walked away without reassuring the employees nor the long-standing established clients. To buy the company, I had spent many months working with bankers and lawyers who negotiated and structured the financial management buyout package. The due diligence process had allowed me to negotiate the value to 1/3 of its initial price. I thought I was making a great deal. I was very pleased about that. However, the initial price had been totally overvalued, which I discovered some years later. And furthermore, I found out that at the signature, most of these advisors were all compensated in some form of commission to my expense. Okay, so let's come back to the business. What happened? The business was in dire need of being renovated, a bit like an old home. There was no automatic processes for leads, no digital tools, no client management system, no communication. So we went about reorganizing the company from all points of view: administrative, marketing, and processes. We upgraded technical software, digital tools, created a new website and an image and branding for the company. We improved the cash flow and the situation with some of its debtors, bringing in money quicker. We tried to train the staff to the new processes. We were so busy that we didn't really realize what was going on within the teams and their feelings. And one day, about 6 months after the transfer, the long-standing secretary, who had been there for 18 years, came to see me and said that she was unhappy. "Why are you unhappy?" I said. Well, she didn't like the changes. She wanted it to be like before. In fact, she said to me what she really wanted was her old boss back. That was a real slap in the face, as you can say, because you can imagine I'm here giving her training, trying to teach her to new methods, and she just wanted her old boss back. We realized that long-standing clients were also reluctant to give us appointments, and some long-standing contracts were not even being renewed. Business started to get difficult, so we want to get it back onto his feet, and we made some drastic financial reorganization decisions. We went from 10 million down to 4 million, but I was happy because I had restructured and I had increased margins. We filled in endless forms and gave personal guarantees even to make the bankers happy, which was not a good decision. But by reducing the business that was not profitable and focusing only on increasing margins, we forgot about our clients' needs. And obviously, if you weren't supporting your clients, then nobody's going to give you any business. Once the company had started experiencing unhappy clients and problems, well, suddenly there was no support. The long-standing clients didn't really want to meet us anymore. The suppliers, they weren't interested. I had reduced turnover with them. And the bankers and the experts saw that the bank accounts were empty and that they couldn't fill their pockets. You see, the original owner had gone. The company was just not able to rebuild a new business model without him. Doors closed. He had been the friend to so many clients who trusted and supported him. We eventually closed the company with consequential personal losses 6 years after the transfer of the business. So here's the thing. The founder had sold and he had said nothing to nobody. All his team, friends, clients had discovered after the signature. But if he had planned the transfer of the company in advance, if he had prepared his teams and his clients, perhaps even integrating them and asking them for support, perhaps they would have been part of the transfer and they would have supported this new management, ourselves, before selling. And the company may very well have been going on today. But now that's past history. I certainly learned a lesson. So as I recalled that I also had experienced a difficult time when I'd sold my first company, and I remembered 3 lessons that I had learned. Firstly, I had spent a lot of time with financial advisors who had taken up months to rewrite crazy, unattainable business plans to prepare for the sale. It was a waste of time. Secondly, the advisors presented us to potential investors who knew nothing about the business and weren't really looking to take our vision and our company along. They were looking for a quick return on investment. In fact, after many useless meetings, we finally sold the company to somebody we had known for many years, somebody who we knew and trusted as he was part of the similar market. And despite us bringing the final buyer to the table, we still had to pay a big commission to those experts. Thirdly, I recall that once the sale had gone through, employees remained loyal to us, the old management. They resented the new one and the changes that were being put in place because they hadn't been part of it. So the founding owner, which was me, I had been asked to stay, but I didn't really know how to let go. I still thought I was the boss, although I wasn't. And I didn't really help that new management gain the employees' loyalty. So you see, 90% of business owners actually fail to transfer their company successfully. I started to see a pattern, and I spent time analyzing and discussing with clients, employees, and even past founders who were enjoying a wonderful life. But some were sad or resented the fact that their past company didn't survive the transfer and had to close. So I created a roadmap to avoid those mistakes that I had learnt the hard way, so I can help business owners sell their company in a better way. The main lesson I wanted to share is that to put all your chances for a successful transfer, you must rebuild the business with your teams before seeking experts to sell it. Today, I share my experience by helping business owners rebuild their company, boost sales, teams, and be ready to let go Pull back from that day-to-day tasks of managing, of being the boss, and hand over the keys of your little baby, because that company is your baby, to somebody else. And when you hand over the keys, you still need to feel comfortable that your vision of that company is going to move forward. And now I love doing nothing more than helping those clients rebuild their businesses and help them to leave or sell and watch the new managements take over and grow. Let me tell you the story of Pierre. When I first met Pierre, he was an engineer and the owner of a solar panel company. He was still at 76 years old managing the day-to-day tasks of his business. He'd been doing it for 44 years. He was the boss with a very small team around him. None of his daughters wanted to manage the business. What was Pierre going to do? He was getting a little bit tired, but the business was still doing okay. Who would want to take over? Who could possibly do his job? Pierre came to me to seek a better visibility online. We started the work with getting a modern website up. But as discussions and trust started to form between us, Pierre confided on how he could possibly make the company move forward. We spent time redefining the company's products and services and clarifying his goal on where was the vision that he wanted for the company. He discovered that there were many new possibilities with digital progress, but he was still using old methods like a USB key for transferring files from his home computer to the office. And when he discovered the services of cloud, he realized that, in fact, digital was there to make his life easier. And so little by little, we started rebuilding digital part of the business to save time and energy. He was so delighted to see all this that his confidence in the future grew in the process. We reorganized the business tools, we brought in software, we included updating file management, implementing new processes to allow him to access his work from all his different machines, his home, his office, his iPad, even his phone. He discovered that by modernizing the tools for making quotes, he could follow the offers and the margins without spending time on complex Excel files. You see, he had never explored or even found out what about these new tools that were available, because he had no time, and everything was just working fine. So why change? The next step for Pierre was to understand how to simplify finding new clients. That today he could gain precious time by better managing clients and automatically gaining new leads online. We put in a customer relationship management tool, and Pierre could focus on what he liked most, which was spending time with the client relationship. We organized a simple automatic lead funnel to manage and increase the client email base. And by using targeted advertising on social media platforms, leads were automatically starting to arrive directly to the company and thus generating a steady pipeline of potential customers, all without having to make cold calls. Sales starting to increase, and they increased by 50%, and the sales process was actually halved in time. Pierre, he had to take on somebody to help him manage those automated business requests and make quotes. But together, that team, they participated in the changes and suggested new tools, thus also being motivated to boost the business further. Today, Pierre is seeing the new team manage the company and achieve tangible results. He started to trust them. He's stepping back from the day-to-day running. He can access all the company files from the comfort of his home. He receives a weekly report, and thus he has the peace of mind that his company is working without him being there every single day. He still loves meeting the clients and seeing the end results, and he will continue to work. But he's sharing his know-how and his techniques, and he's also starting to enjoy teaching the younger people to know how he did his work and, how can I say, all those little know-hows that he's accumulated over the years. Pierre will probably never leave the company. However, he has sold some shares to the new team, and we are studying the legal aspects of a management buyout while still protecting his daughter's inheritance. So here's the thing. the formula my clients use, mean that they become conscious that it's time to step back from day-to-day tasks and envisage a new way to continue the company. They modernize their company with new digital technologies to make processes easier and automated to have more time for themselves. And they prepare the next generation management to take that company to the new level and still instill the culture to continue the legacy. They also learn about all the legal transferal possibilities, management buyouts, transmission, increasing capital, donating shares, whatever. And they are also learning to be prepared to deliver a perfect pitch about their company to anyone. So whilst many business owners are struggling to find a way to sell their company, experiencing the loneliness of being the sole manager with no family successor, having to endure time-wasting, costly financial advisors who promise to sell the company for a high price to anyone without even knowing how the actual business functions, and worried about maybe having to liquidate the company because nobody wants to take over, or concerned about not having financial security once they leave because the company without them may not generate enough revenue, or anxious about not understanding the new digital revolution run by geeks that have little patience with them. You see, I believe there is a right way and a wrong way to do this. Bad advice number 1, just start the sales process and see who will make you the best offer. Well, it's bad advice because if you wish to maximize the company's value, you need to make it more desirable before the due diligence process is signed. And selling your company when it's not prepared will most surely mean it will sell at the wrong price to the wrong person. Hey, bad advice number 2, just hand over the management to a young entrepreneur. They know what they're doing. Well, it's bad advice because without choosing and guiding the right successor, you will not ensure that your vision will sustain the legacy. Furthermore, if you choose to work with a young entrepreneur to transfer your business, you need to understand the language of today's basic digital tools. Also, by implementing these tools, you'll be able to attract the right young managers to work with you. Bad advice number 3. Sell your company and keep it a secret by saying nothing to employees nor clients. Well, as I've said, this is very bad advice because by not involving the team and clients, the company will become very fragile and the business legacy will surely not survive the changes. Remember, fostering engagement generates better decisions. Sharing clear expectations with the team will allow for a better transition of change. Bad advice number 4, sell the company by working with financial advisors and bankers. They know what they're talking about. Well, that's bad advice because bankers and financial advisors do not have the same interest in transferring the vision. They're only motivated by a high commission. Sadly, thousands of business owners suffer unnecessarily, whilst my clients are experiencing peace of mind, knowing that their company is now being managed by the next generation team that they chose and trained. They're experiencing a higher valuation for the company without paying high fees to a large audit firm, nor wasting precious, valuable time making unrealistic plans to suit a banker's vision. My clients are learning to implement tools that boost the company's sales without feeling fearful due to the lack of digital knowledge. And they are experiencing a true external support throughout the process to rebuild their business in order to transfer ownership without feeling lonely and misunderstood while doing so. There is one simple method that solves the problem of preparing a company for a successful sale. So let's dive in, shall we? The Rebuild to Win Transformative Roadmap is a 7-step process. Remember, change takes time. So the first step is the realization. Do you know that 9 out of 10 entrepreneurs fail to transfer their company? They go into a deal, they sign a mandate, due diligence, valuation, and suddenly, bam, they have problems. It is important to be prepared to have the right mindset to sell your baby, your company. I mean, what does it take for you as a founder to be comfortable to transfer the management to somebody else? And even more so, to somebody you don't even know? You need to recognize that this is an emotional moment. You need to have confidence in what's going on and also have clear objectives and an idea of how you're going to value, to be able to embrace those changes, to be able to put in routines in place, to be able to say yes and walk away assured that you have done your maximum to over-deliver to the next owner. The second step is the evaluation. Okay, so you have the right mindset. Where are you going? How are you going to sell it? But hold on. Before you want to sell, maybe it's better that you need to see where your business is actually at present. We call this check the specs strategy. It's a simple 5-step process to analyze your business. A little bit like a car trip. When you're going to go on a car trip, you check the engine, the oil, the wheels. You need to evaluate your company and tweak what needs to be improved to make sure that for that journey, the company is good. Sales, product, value proposition. Who are your clients? What is the systems that you have already in place? And obviously, once you've evaluated them, we come to the third step, which is how do we boost sales? Why do we want to boost sales? I mean, we want to sell the company. Well, you need to show clear evidence that you have good sales growth, which will also then be reflected in your projections that will be true. And this way, you will maximize the appeal of the company and its valuation. The SMART sales system allows you to look at the 6 M's of the business. What are your methods? What are your mechanics? What are your marketing? Are you working with your mails? How are you magnetizing your clients? And so you can create a new demand that you can better serve your clients. What about those non-clients? Is there any way that you can reach them? Is there any way you can automate things? And this is it. We come to the 4th step, which is upgrade. And I talk of the digital growth generator. The pandemic has brought many problems, but also some fabulous opportunities and solutions. Look, I'm talking to you in this fabulous presentation and you're in the comfort of your own home. For some of the older generation entrepreneurs, they're a little bit reluctant to see and implement certain tools because they're a little bit fearful because they don't understand. But how can you attract a new generation team if you don't have the right tools or understand the way they're thinking? I suppose it's like changing from an old car to a new car. First of all, you might be a little bit lost, but then everything is so much smoother. Digital tools is the same thing. They are there to save time, to generate leads automatically, to repeat sales, and perhaps bring in annex sales. And together we can win over that fear, learn and discover how to use methods to implement them in your business easily. The next step is one of the most important steps, and that is getting to involve the whole team. What do you mean, involve the whole team? Well, if you do not involve the team and they discover that you've sold the company a bit like a fait accompli, as they say in French, acceptance will be impossible. However, if you engage, you explain, you give clear expectations of what you're doing and where you're going, you'll be able to create that high impacting culture creator. Remember, if you motivate your team purely on a financial aspect, they'll only be wanting their pay at the end of the month. On the other hand, if you get them to be emotionally invested, they will want to contribute to that change. In fact, maybe it's one of them that could be your future buyer. Involving, motivating, promoting, but you ask for accountability, yes, but you bring in a new culture, you innovate, you let the network, you let them grow together, and that growth builds trust. And so it's very important to involve the whole team and including clients or suppliers in your process of transforming your company for a future sale. The 6th point is all about the legal aspects. We've talked of due diligence. Buyers want to be protected of any skeletons that might be in the cupboard. They want to avoid any threats, financial threats that would fragilize the company. So you need to make sure that your company is working correctly. Do you have all the legal aspects assured? What are your contracts with your clients like? What are the contracts with your employees? Are you paying your taxes correctly? Have you fulfilled all your human resource obligations? What about insurances, health policies? In Switzerland, we cover accidents, pensions. Can you serve your team? Can you offer them services that will want them to stay and to give you more? And then there's the other legal aspect of how are you going to transfer your company? Is it a management buyout? Is it an internal management buyout or is it an external management buyout? Are you going to increase your capital? Are you going to just transmit your shares? Are you going to give them away as a donation? And what are the valuation methods? So this 6th step just will cover all those legal aspects. The final step on the transformative roadmap is delivering the message. You need to have the right language because you're not speaking to clients. You are speaking to investors or to other business owners that want to increase their business. So you have to have the right language and the right way of pitching to attract the buyer's attention. In a captive way. You need to know the figures of your business, key figures that investors are looking for. You need to know what is that hook that's going to capture sufficient interest and is going to differentiate the relevance of your message with impact. You'll learn to use your voice and experience how to radiate the passion of your company. So there you have it, the Rebuild to Win Transformative Roadmap, a 7-step process that takes time. It's not something that you can click your fingers and do straight away. But once you've implemented the Rebuild to Win Transformative Roadmap, you will never feel afraid for the future of your company. Just like my client Bertrand, who in his late 60s was still busy as a bee as he continued to manage all the admin and financial aspect of his chimney company since its creation in the 80s. I was able to help Bertrand see the potential of transferring his company and the idea of delegating more work to his son, who was actually working on the production side. But Bertrand until then didn't really want to share any of the financial side. So together we sourced some tools to help make some steps easier in his daily tasks. Again, we started working together because Bertrand was tired of rushing every morning to work whilst most of his friends were enjoying their retirement. So over the course of 2 months, we modernized the communication and digital tools of the company. With some research, we found the ideal, easy-to-use platform to automate invoicing so that Bertrand did not have to send letters manually each week, and the invoices were being directly integrated into the accounting system. Most importantly, Bertrand started to see the great advantage of passing over those daily management tasks to his son. And together I accompanied both of them to trust and delegate each other for the future of the business. Bertrand, well, he's returned to his passion of flying. He knows that the company is achieving results and bringing in the necessary income. His son has acquired the majority stake in the company. A successful transfer has been made, and all the employees feel happy to continue to serve the family with the new generation. So here's the truth. Spending time making ambitious business plans with expensive auditors is not going to work. Trying to undertake complex digital transformations on your own is not going to work. You want your company to continue its legacy without working every single day. You want to sell your company to a next generation team and feel satisfied that it's in good hands and the future is guaranteed. Just like Pierre with his solar company, because by implementing the Rebuild to Win Transformative Roadmap, he has increased his sales by 50%. And the new management team are slowly purchasing shares through a management buyout agreement over a 3-year period. Pierre has taken a step back from daily tasks. Look, The crazy thing is, despite an easy-to-implement solution being available, the vast majority of business owners continue to struggle the hard way, saying to themselves, "I'm the owner and the boss, so I'm indispensable to the company." But this is faulty logic, because if you want to transfer your company, you need to let go of the ego, step back from everyday work, delegate, and learn to trust the next generation management. An independent financial advisor can make me the perfect business plan that will sell my company to a stranger. This is a mistake, because only you, as the owner, know how to run your company. You know your clients and your team. So only you can make the right business plan to foresee the vision with a realistic revenue stream. Saying that you have run your business with great results the same way for over 25 years, so you don't need to change anything? Again, this is misguided, because businesses need to evolve and transform, integrating new technologies to bring new clients, which in turn will attract new younger teams with fresh ideas. How long are you going to continue to allow yourself to be running your company exhausted and not be able to plan the transferal because you think there is no one who can manage your company better than you? How much is it costing you financially not to have found the next generation management? How much is it costing you physically not to have someone to delegate and trust the day-to-day tasks? And what is the impact on your relationship not to have someone to manage and take your company to the next level? The fact is, there is a solution, and it's a solution that will work for you. In a few days from now, you could start visualizing a new goal for your company with a dedicated and personalized support. In a few weeks from now, you could be boosting your sales methods. And in a couple of months from now, you could be implementing new digital technologies to automate processes. And soon you could be bringing in a next generation team to manage your company so that you can deliver the perfect pitch to potential buyers about your transformed company. But if you don't make changes now, this problem could become systemic, leading to you being exhausted and the company liquidated. So here's what I propose we do. My team and I have set aside some time in the next 72 hours to talk with you one-to-one about how you can apply this approach starting today. This is an opportunity for you to talk about your business and produce a game plan specific to you so that you can prepare your company for a successful sale. On the call together, we will identify how to evaluate and check your company's facts to rebuild your business to be ready to transfer ownership and sell. We're also going to discuss how to create a time frame with clearly defined steps for you to sell your company. And finally, we will be there to help you take that uncomfortable step to transfer the management to somebody else and feel accompanied in this process of letting go. We'll also give you how to talk to financial experts, bankers, and auditors before any due diligence contracts are signed to be in the optimal position for negotiation, and how to be able to step back because you have a successful team in place to manage your company. Now, the cost of this call is a Zoom one-to-one is 100% free, as I'm paying for it from the cost out of my own pocket. Why am I doing this? Well, because I know you'll leave the Zoom call with both the insight and a game plan you are confident in using to prepare your company to choose the ideal successor and be comfortable to transfer ownership. And I'm hoping that there is a fair chance that you may want me to help you execute that plan, like I've done for some of my clients. Remember Pierre, who now has 50% increase in sales and automated the client lead funnel, reducing the need to look for new clients? Jean-Jacques, who's now writing a book because he has sold his audio company to a young, dynamic team. And Bertrand, who has passed the management to his son, who is modernizing the chimney company, and Bertrand is now doing what he loves most of all, flying. But please, know there's no obligation or pressure on either of us to work together. The minimum you're going to do is to get a plan that you can personally execute to boost your company to transfer the ownership successfully. And if we set aside 90 minutes, it will be enough time for me to show you what to do. We'll first talk about where you are right now and get to the bottom of the real problem. And together we will figure out the customized step-by-step game plan that you need to implement. During the call, I will show you how to boost your business sales by implementation of optimized digital transformation to automatically bring in new leads and clients. How to motivate your team and involve them in the ongoing success of your company. And finally, deliver the perfect pitch to give to potential investors or company purchasers so that you too can take a step back from daily tasks, start to enjoy the peace of mind knowing that you have a great succession plan prepared. As I said earlier, if you listen till the end, I'll be sending you a small gift for thanking you to have spent this time with me. And you will have the strategy to boost your company, designate a successor, and feel assured that you are creating the company legacy with your vision. Now, I'm willing to do this breakthrough call for free, but there is one caveat. You have to be a good fit for the call, as I am only willing to help people who are committed and willing to implement. So before we have our call together, I'll ask you to complete a short questionnaire so that I can find out a little bit more about you and the challenges you are facing. It will take just 5 minutes to fill out. Please note I have a limited number of these breakthrough calls available in the next few days only. I'll be delighted for you to have one of the 90-minute breakthrough calls, but most likely you're going to need to book right away as there'll be none available. On the call, we'll find out your starting point and where you want to get to. Then I'll advise you of what to do, step by step, to make the changes that will lead to optimizing your company to formulate the ideal succession plan. Within a few weeks, you can be setting the long-term objectives for organizing the sale of your company to your ideal successor. Within a couple of months, you'll have set up the digital automatic processes to optimize the growth of sales and start seeing the clear path to take, which team members you can rely on and promote to start slowing down your daily activity. And finally, you will see that you have the right team in place, modern marketing systems with your company is all fully optimized and ready for a successful succession. And once you've implemented the Rebuild to Win transformative roadmap, I will follow you up with you and document your results. You will have peace of mind knowing that you have the perfect plan to sell to the right successor and guarantee the future of your business. And I will have yet another successful client story. It's a great win-win. That's why, even though this consultation is worth 750 Swiss francs, I'm willing to do this breakthrough call for free. Do remember though, I need you to complete a questionnaire when you book your call. As I speak, there are only a few slots left in the next few days, so I do recommend booking in the next few minutes. I will tell you how to book the call in a second. And also, because I can't guarantee that you will be selected for one of these calls, I'll give you a gift for just filling out the questionnaire. I will send you the Check the Specs strategy, the full guide to evaluate your business today in a simple 5-step process. Of course, ideally you are a good fit for the call, you implement the advice and become a great before and after case. I very much hope you can make one of these breakthrough calls that we have available. Click the link below to book your complimentary call. Firstly, you're going to see a calendar so that you can fix the date that suits your diary and mine in the next couple of days. And then you'll be asked to fill out the online questionnaire. It takes less than 5 minutes. Remember, 90 minutes for the call. So click the link below and I look forward to helping you rebuild your company to ensure the business legacy and prepare for a successful sale. Click the link below, guys. Thanks so much and speak soon.